Doma Sports Talk, worldwide, with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, Sergey Kovalev, light heavyweight, former light heavyweight champ, Sergey Kovalev said he took that fight with Canelo for financial reasons. Well, duh. But we'll get to that in a minute. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about Canelo, leading up to that Kovalev fight. Golovkin, because you know how I've been going in on the fact that Canelo didn't take that undisputed fight with with Demetrius Andrade. Undisputed fight, trying to go get Kovalev, which we'll get to in a minute. And then all of a sudden, Charlo's been the mandatory for Gennady Golovkin. He's been the mandatory for Canelo, and then Canelo gets franchise championship. Golovkin just said, hell no, I ain't doing it. What about them? Them apples. You know what I mean? So, when you say things like that, people will come in and they will say things like, well, Canelo's going to get whatever he wants, and we got to live with that. I'm talking you, JT. You know what I'm saying? Coming in, good dude. But, we don't have to live with that. That's the point. We're not just going to live and earn that. Everybody can't be Floyd Mayweather. Earn that. All these close fights, all these things in your favor, being able to be doped, you have to say something against things like that, or else it'll keep happening. That's how you get a dictator. Got to check them. Bottom line. And then other things that many say about, when a fight gets hard or there's a mandatory there that's formidable. We're like, well, what have they done? And when you ask that question to like a Jamal Charlo or Demetrius Andrade, then what has anybody done? You know what I mean? Like we're talking, excuse me, Andrade is a two-division champion. A two-division champion. And now so is Charlo, a two-division champion. What else they did? They've been calling Canelo out in the 154 division and the 160 as champions. That's what they did, right? That's, you can't do more than that. Make sure this is clear when you're talking boxing. Titleist, if you got a championship belt, ones that matter, not regulars, interims, and all that stuff. None of that. We're talking about WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO. They lucky 25 years ago. That IBO don't count really. Although it's been around for a minute, don't really count. Those four, then you can become undisputed. All that other stuff don't count. If you got a title, one of those titles, then you're worthy of fighting another champion. Just because the champion got somebody that's, he's big or whatever, you still are worthy. Right? You can't say, well, what has he done? Because he'd never get an opportunity to do so. Hence, those PBC belts is going to start happening. Right? So, those are the things. If you're a champion, you can't say, well, hey, what has he done? Because then you got to ask that question. If we got talking Gennady Golovkin, what has Semireta done? That's who he's about to fight, right? Semireta's not even mandatory. They're begging him to make a mandatory so the fight can have some, some relevance, right? But he wasn't even a mandatory. He's about to be. That's it. Charlo's been mandatory, and they're champions. Semireta's not a champion. Neither is Matarosen, weight division lower. Neither is he. Steve Rose was undefeated, but what had he done? Not even a mandatory, nothing. Right? Well, Dominique Wade, what about that? Was a mandatory, not a champion. Right? Who had he beat? Anybody. Kell Brook, bad boy, coming up to weight divisions though. Was a champion, not the very best at welterweight, but one of the best. I'm gonna say that about Kell Brook. Kell Brook came up, did his best against Gennady Golovkin. That's one of Gennady Golovkin's best fights. Really? David Lemieux, right? Had about 2 losses when David Lemieux fought him. Willie Monroe had 6 knockouts when they fought. Had a loss, right? But Willie Monroe's one of the good ones. Martin Murray, what about that? Right? What about Rubio? Remember him? Had 6 losses. What about that? What about Curtis Stevens? Weight division lower, coming up, but he was, Curtis Stevens, a mean little dude, but he's smaller. 154 pounder, right? Okay, I go with him. Gil, I give him. That's a good win right there. Gil, I remember that. Osasuma, whatever his name was, Macklin, right? Ishida, Macklin had 4 losses. Ishida had 8 losses. Rosado is also a 154 pounder. Had about 5 losses when they fought. I'm just saying, none of those guys who I'm mentioning are Charlo's and Demetrius Andrade, undefeated two-weight division champions. That's what they've done in comparison to who he's already fought. And Canelo's similar. Canelo has a better record, but we can ask, well, what did Liam Smith do? Right? Is that a Golovkin? I mean, is that a Charlo? Is Amir Khan coming up two-weight divisions? Is that a Charlo? Is that an Andrade Fielding going up there to get the regular champion at 168 instead of one of the champions that would have fought you, but go get the regular championship? And people call it championship. That ain't no Charlo neither. Josesito Lopez, remember that little old dude outweighed him, and an 8-loss Shane Mosley. There's some stuff. The ones I'm not mentioning are those close fights. You want me to mention Lara? How close that was? People had Lara arguably beating them, right? You want me to mention Arson Trout, right? Open scoring. Does anybody check your stuff? I just always say it to a short version of it. You win in 3 of the first 4 rounds. After round 4, they come to your corner and tell you you didn't win any. That's what happened to Alistair Trout. He had to change his all up. But I just won 3 out of 4 rounds. They say I ain't won nothing. Canelo done won all them rounds. I got to go out here and fight like a monster, and that ain't my style. Right? That's what happened to him, among others. But I'm just saying, a Charlo and an Andrade are worthy of fighting a Canelo and or Gennady Golovkin. And they've been worthy for years now. It's ridiculous. Right? All these other dudes. So that is out of the window. We don't mention that anymore. Right? People are worthy. Now, moving to what happened to Sergey Kovalev. Sergey Kovalev gives an interview and he just said, man, this for financial reasons I'm fighting Canelo. After coming off of my last fight, August 31st, I had 3 weeks to recover. And y'all know I was hurt in round 8. Right? I had to recover. You don't go into a training camp in 3 weeks after a fight like that. You know what I mean? But they will offer me so much money. With the rumors it's $12 million, but I think it's even more. I don't think he's able to tell. Right? They offered him more. But even $12 million. Let's just stay there. $12 million. That's the one that's floating around. Yeah, they made sure. They basically forced Kovalev to fight. Because we ain't fighting that undisputed fight in the middleweight division on September the 14th that we could have had against Demetrius Andrade. That we're not doing at all. So we have to figure out Kovalev. We're going to wait till after that fight with Anthony Yard. We're going to wait, and then we're going to pay you, man, whatever, man. I know you ain't got no time to recover, whatever. Just here's this money, because I can at least say I'm moving up some weight divisions. Bam. Just like I told you. And you know what? I'm going to do it one more time. Sergey Kovalev said, you know what? And anybody who thought I was going to win are ignoramuses. Because with that kind of time, it's just not going to happen. He called you ignoramuses. So you're in here arguing with people that's trying to tell you. That was too obvious. That whole scenario, it's like everybody involved ignored September the 14th. Like it wasn't, that's the Canelo's date. And you have an undisputed fight right in your division and a dude who's been begging. He's at your same place everywhere. The zone. I was at 154 begging. I'm at 160 begging. He was begging at the time. Everything. Right? Undisputed. He's undefeated. He can talk. We won't have a lead up to the fight with subtitles for both of you. You and Kovalev with subtitles. We got an American right there that can speak at least. Problem is, he gonna tell on you for how long he been trying to fight you. That's another reason. So all of that being said, Kovalev is basically telling on you that they forced him to damn near fight, and they probably paid him more than $12 million. That's what he just said. Now he's gonna keep on fighting, but everybody's talking about, hey, well, why didn't Canelo go up and fight someone else in the light heavyweight division? That's the reason, because he was already wounded, basically, right? And he had lost 3 times and wounded, but still has a name. That's what we were saying. It's not hate. It's just, people ain't no damn fools. That's all that is. I don't know if you're supposed to be a fool, one of us. That ain't how that's rolling. You know what I'm saying? We see that. So the dude goes up, he ain't gonna fight no Better Biv or no Bivol. I think he'd fight Bivol maybe, but I don't think I don't think he wants none of them light heavyweight. Let me take Kovalev. And I damn sure ain't fighting Charlo or Andrade, which are bigger fights than all of that. Morales told you, Eric Morales, what'd he tell you? Man, ain't nobody know Kovalev in Mexico, man. The hell's wrong with you? I bet you they know Andrade, and I damn sure bet you they know Charlo. Because, he lives in Texas, man. Shoot, is there I'm in Mexico and Texas? The hell out of here. So all of that being said, Kovalev done basically spilled the beans. I tell you what, somebody who speak Russian, hang around Kovalev and act like you don't speak Russian. You probably hear some more about that fight. Because we know people thinking that the fight was rigged, he was throwing jabs, and they were light. And he was just saying, there's no energy there, there's no power there. I put an article that I was reading in the description box, but a lot of people have those theories. I don't know. I don't really want to go that far, but it looked a little bit weird. It didn't look like the Crusher. And he ain't supposed to be that scared, about a body shot coming back. Throw the right hand a couple of times. You're trying to win the fight. You do know you're fighting Canelo. Who knows how that went? But he's saying it was just way too short. And people who thought I could win are ignoramuses. It don't get no more clearer than that. Now does it? Doma Sports Talk. Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all. Bam.